I was 6 years old when I first tried to make people laugh. I remember dressing up for my family, and getting laughter is addictive. So after college, I started doing stand-up comedy at night.
I talk in my sleep, according to my phone bill, but
I've been doing stand-up for more than 25 years. When I met my husband, he had 2 young sons, and I wanted to spend more time with them. So I took my career, which was kind of in the fast lane, and I merged over a few lanes. My day is I will do some laundry, and then I might do some laundry. Then I do some more laundry. It's all about the laundry. Now that my boys are older, it's time for me to pursue my dream. But it's Radio City. Oh my God, I might pass out.
We know you're gonna do great, and we love you.
Thank you. I love making people laugh. I just love it. Sounds corny. Somebody's got to do the Rockettes' laundry. Okay, it's me. How are you, Radio City? Wow, it smells really good in here. What is that, Febreze? Can you smell my perfume? I put on a lot of perfume. I put on like a whole magazine. Can you smell it in the back? Today is my lucky day because I'm on AGT and you're here. And also today I found $20. Isn't that fun when you find money? It was just sitting there in the tip jar at Starbucks. So I've been following the judges on social media, and you should too, and they're so entertaining. And I have to say, Heidi and Melby, you've inspired me to get a bikini because I've seen the pictures of you. But my bikini is a 3-piece. It's a top, a bottom, and a blindfold for you. But I'm gonna flaunt it, because I'm 46 years old. And I don't feel 46, because I'm 47, so for 2 years now, and I've been telling that joke for 5. I'm 48, final answer. I am very immature for a 49-year-old woman, according to my pediatrician. Now that I'm 51 and a half, I am past my sexual peak and my credit limit. I spend money like I have it. Even my cash is bouncing. I went to get a personal loan, and the guy was like, well, what is it for? And I'm like, it's personal, Daddy. I can't even believe I'm asking my father for money at 53. Thank you very much, America.
Today we have a comedy legend. She is one of the funniest and most down-to-earth comedians around. She's been on Carson, Letterman, Leno, Fallon, Kimmel, the list goes on. She's really truly a lovely woman, and I've heard about her for 25, I don't know how many years. Wendy Liebman. Wendy Liebman.
Oh my God, I love your voice. Do you mind if I just futz with my hair for an hour?
Futz, if you don't mind if I futz with mine.
I mean, I'm not used to looking at myself so much, but in this Zoom society, that's all we do now is talk to ourselves.
I know, right? I tell you, it's keeping me alive. But I haven't cut my hair, so I have a ponytail, and I haven't.
You have a man bun.
I'm getting a man bun.
You need to move to Silver Lake.
Well, the last time I had this was when I lived in the Haight-Ashbury, so.
You have the Ben Franklin look going.
Thank you.
I have to color my hair. Hold on. I have some grays coming in. Hold on.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Okay.
Oh, I gave up on the color. I just let it grow. But I'm
You're
getting
not a girl, though. There's a
Ah,
double standard, I think.
depends on the night. So, why do you like to make people laugh?
That's a really good question and one that I haven't been asked. So thank you.
Yeah.
I think from the very beginning, I loved hearing my father laugh. And I still do, actually. He's 86. And I used to imitate Lily Tomlin characters for him. Ernestine, one Renee Dingy. Oh, don't ask me to do it. And then Edith Ann, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
And I made him laugh. I can't believe I did that for you. But I just did a speech for the Irma Bombeck Writers Workshop, which is every other year. And I showed this picture. Can I show a picture?
Oh, you could show whatever you like.
Okay, this is me. And it's the first time I remember trying to make people laugh. I remember pushing a sock down and pulling the other sock up. And I remember thinking the asymmetry is going to be hysterical and I'm going to get a big laugh. So this was my first memory of trying to get a laugh, and I was 7. So I think it was to get a reaction, because David, when somebody's laughing, you know that they listened.
Yeah. And, it's about that joy. You could feel that joy that they have, which feeds you. I love it.
Yeah, it's connecting.
And you mentioned Lily Tomlin. I just remember playing her albums too. It's like one of my favorite. I'm a rubber freak. I just love it that one too.
Wait, what does that mean, a rubber freak?
Oh, she was saying, it was about this woman. She said, and then I started eating the tip off of grandmother's cane, and she was eating the tires off it was just, I just love that. It's one of her.
I don't remember that. I just remember Ernestine.
Yeah.
Don't make me do that again.
Okay.
And then Edith Ann. And then, my life is crazy in that I now have gotten to meet Lily Tomlin 3 times. So it's like, pinch me.
Oh my God.
Pinch
yeah,
me.
she's truly like amazing.
She's the real deal.
Oh yeah. I was listening and watching your comedy over the last week, and I mean, your comedy is so it's so smart. And what's so wonderful about it, there are a couple of things. It's like you get in there, and then there's like a trap door, and you surprise everybody with everything you do. It's like boom, 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 boom. It goes here and there. It's lovely.
Thank you. I have a headache.
You have a headache. Oh my God.
Thank you. I mean, it's like I'm trying to surprise you, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Well, I mean, we have over 100 students watching. And of course, it's going to go on to the Meet the Biz workshops, which are more students, and then YouTube World. How for those students who want to become a comedian and say, I want to be a comic, what advice would you give them?
Really, the only advice I have is, it's 2-pronged, is watch every comedian that you can. And actually it's 3-pronged. Watch everything.
Yeah.
Perform as much as humanly possible. And try new material. Don't because that's the mistake I've made, is that I've been like thinking that each joke is so precious. I want to hone every joke.
Yeah.
And I don't take enough risks. But really, number 2 is key to it all, is that perform as much as humanly possible, because you can think you're a comedian, but unless you're actually doing it, it's the same with anything, I think, writing, unless you're actually doing it, you have to do it, because the audience will tell you things that you just imagine.
Yeah.
So yes, perform. And if you can't find a place to perform, start a place to perform. Go to a restaurant. I mean, maybe not now, after the pandemic,
right?
Or start a Zoom show with your friends,
yeah,
and give everybody some time.
How is that now, doing Zoom shows for comedians?
So it's challenging, not gonna lie, but it has worked out. There are different variations to doing them. Sometimes you can hear the audience, sometimes you can only hear a few people in the audience, sometimes you don't hear anybody. So it's like doing radio. But we're making it work. I say we, my fellow comedians and I, were doing it.
Yeah.
And, at first it was like free for all, but with any job, like when I first started doing stand-up, I didn't know how to do the radio press. So I just had to learn it. So this is just another skill. It's like learning how to use the microphone. This is learning how to Zoom, do comedy over the internet. So it's really interesting. Also, the other thing is, I don't know if you know, I don't know how you would know this, but before the pandemic, I was laid up in bed for 9 months. I had been hit by a car, and I was just walking on my treadmill. No, I was walking.
And a car just came in and...
Yeah. I was walking across the street. I had the light, everything, and I was hit by a car who didn't see me. And so I spent 9 months recovering. It was a long story. But so I hadn't performed in, like, I want to say a year and a half, all be told. And then the pandemic hit. So the fact that I get to do my job, I welcome doing it on Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm sitting down. I've been doing stand-up so long. I'm finally sitting down.
Sitting down, doing your stand-up. God, it's so weird that the roads that life takes us on, and when things just happen out of the blue like that.
Like, I didn't even know I was going to do stand-up as a career. I was going to be a therapist.
Really?
And one day I took the mail in from the wrong apartment, and it was a course catalog for an adult ed school. And in the catalog, well, first it was an acting class that I took. And then during the break, during the first class, the teacher quit.
During the first class?
Yeah, he didn't come back after the break. And then, so the school said, instead of returning your money, would you like to take another class? So I'm like reading through the course catalog, and I see how to be a stand-up comedian. And I heard like the angel singing. It was one of those rare moments in life where you're like, everything aligns. And I thought, oh my God, yes. And so I took the class. The teacher is still a friend of mine. He's still doing stand-up. He's been on the Sarah Silverman program. His name is Ron Lynch.
Yeah.
And I never looked back. I never became a comedian. I mean, a therapist. I was going to be a therapist. I never did that.
Right.
I've been in therapy.
Well, I think some of the best comedians and some of the best therapists are both. I don't know.
Well, they're very similar.
Yeah.
I've thought about this a lot, and like we both both a therapist and a comedian, they try to elicit emotion.
Yeah.
It's kind of a distant intimacy that you have, and it's 45 or 50 minutes.
Right. So the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson and Late Night with David Letterman, and is there a story from one of those many times that you were on those shows that sticks out to you?
I was on Letterman a lot in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
And one time I was bumped from the show because they ran long, because Arnold Schwarzenegger was playing basketball with a dog.
I remember that one.
Did you remember that one?
I think I do. On the show?
So, yeah. So then they let me come back, but let's see what else. I got to meet Helena Bonham Carter. She was on one of the shows with me. I got to meet Alex Trebek. He was on one of the shows with me. I loved him. I just loved that show. I could never be on that show. I don't know anything about the Bible or Mesopotamia. But when I was on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, I had just been doing stand-up for 6 years, which in stand-up years is not very long. And if Johnny Carson went like this to you, it meant like you could come over, sit on the, or it meant you were in, you know, it was like a sign of
acceptance.
Yeah. So he did do that, but it wasn't caught on camera. And my heart was broken.
Oh.
So he heard that. He heard that I was disappointed. So after the show, and I feel like I'm making this up. I feel like I'm making up a lot of my life, actually. But after the show, he and Ed McMahon came to my dressing room. And, you know, we grew up watching that show. So the fact that they were standing right in front of me was surreal.
Yeah.
They were like a holograph. And they said, you'll have to come back. And I just remember that they were very tall.
It's, you know what I love is when you do, you know, you always, or for me, growing up, I wanted to come to, quote, Hollywood. And I finally did. And when I finally met, and these were most of the people that I grew up loving, they were wonderful. And it was like Lily, like Dustin Hoffman, the people that, you know, you really admired, and they turned out to be real mensches. So I love hearing that story of yours.
Yeah, I got to open early in my career for a lot of people on the road, and everybody from Ray Charles, he held my wrist, to Julio Iglesias. His audience didn't really speak too much English, so. But the nicest person I ever opened for was Gregory Hines, the tap dancer.
Yes.
An actor. And I got to open for him twice. He was the menchiest mensch.
Was he? Oh.
Yes, I loved him.
I love that. I'm going to throw out a name and see where it takes you. Radio City Music Hall.
Well, I used to go there. I used to see the Rockettes there every Christmas. My parents would bring us to the Christmas show and then pick us up around Easter. But no, so I used to go there every December because I grew up on Long Island. So that was like brilliant. I loved. So festive. Even though I'm Jewish, I love Christmas. So sue me. So then in 2014, David, I was on the show America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
And I got to be on that stage. And it was one of the biggest audiences that I had performed for.
Right.
So what I've realized over my career is that it doesn't matter if it's 5 people or 5,000 people. I just have to do my best.
Yeah.
I remember one of my earliest shows, I asked the person who hired me how many people were going to be in the audience, and they said 45.
Right.
No, they said 40 or 50. And I thought, oh, okay. Remember, this is at the beginning.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I get there, and it was 450.
Oh.
And I freaked out. But as I said, I've learned that it doesn't matter how many people are in the audience. So Radio City was like 4,500. And it was thrilling. It really was thrilling. And just to know that like my parents were in the audience, and we had gone many, many years before that to see the shows there. And I got to meet the Rockettes. And
well, I was watching, I watched several of those episodes and saw them on YouTube again. And to sit there, you know, you come on the stage, and all of a sudden you just have this energy and this love and availability. It's like somebody can like connect with her, you know, connect with you. Some people, you know, get up on stage, it's like, oh, okay, you're watching, but it felt like a family in a way.
Wow, thank you so much. Maybe we're related.
Well, when I was young, I wanted a Hanukkah bush. My mom wouldn't let me, so. You know. No, that's not, you know.
Where did you grow up? I know you're interviewing me, but where did you grow up?
I grew up in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. And yeah, and that's why I'm actually going to be moving back there for a little while. That's why you see all the boxes packing up. But
I have boxes too, but I'm not moving anywhere.
Oh my God. Well, I won't even show you the other room. You were talking about the numbers, the 45, the 50, and it reminded me, because I was looking on your wonderful website and the quotes page, and it reminded me of one of your comedy bits too, about now that I'm 49, I forget things like that I'm 58. And I didn't do that good. When you do it, it was like I was...
No, that was great. That was great. But honestly, I started doing that joke when I was 23.
No, really?
And now I'm 59. I'm going
and
to be
a half.
60. Yeah. I'm going to be 60 at the end of this interview. No, I'm going to be 60 in February. But I'm very immature, according to my pediatrician. I am immature. I was supposed to go in July. I was supposed to go to my preschool reunion, but it was canceled because of the pandemic. But I was kind of glad, because since preschool, I've put on like 100 pounds. I'm just doing my act for you. I can't turn it off. I can't turn myself off.
I love it. Oh my God. What?
But you said when I came out on America's Got Talent that you
Yes.
felt this energy. It's adrenaline. I mean, it's like fight or flight, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that audience, the energy of that in that room, and you have the four whatchamacallits there.
The judges.
Judges. That's it. That's the word. 56. But that one of the brain cell goes, I'm not going to remind you.
You're 54.
By the end of this interview, I'll be 154.
Well, I once did that joke at the Friars Club, and Carl Reiner was in the audience.
Oh.
And he said, well, I knew how old you were at the end because you wouldn't lie up. Like you wouldn't make yourself older than you were.
Right.
So I knew you were really 47 or however old I was at the time. I loved him, Carl Reiner. He said to my then boyfriend, "You should marry her." And he did.
By the way, I'm going to throw out another word for you. The other one were several words. Family.
Wow, well, that's a lot to unpack there. I'm very close to my family genetically. But do you mean my family or what I married into?
Sure. I mean, when I say the word family, what comes to your mind, or how do you feel?
Oh, it's all about family. I love my family. My parents are still in New York. That's where I grew up. My sister's in Northern California. And I got married late in life. I actually thought I was going to be an old maid. Like I wasn't one of those people who pictured a wedding or anything. But then I got married, so now I'm a maid. But I met my husband, Jeffrey. He was hired to write a sitcom for me. And it didn't turn out that way, but it truly was love at first sight for us both. And it was at Jerry's Deli in Studio City, which is closing now. So we're kind of mourning that. But so I married my husband. Right. He had 2 kids. They were 4 and 8. And I basically helped raise them. And now they're 29 and 25, if I have the math right. And my oldest just had a baby. So can I swear? No, I shouldn't swear. I'm a grandma. Me, wait, I am a grandma.
Grandma Wendy. Oh my God.
That was to cover the grave. But I married, my husband is a producer and a writer. He wrote on a sitcom called Boy Meets World.
Yes.
And yeah, he loved that show. We love that show. And we're still friends with all the cast. Yeah. Will Friedle and Ryder Strong. And my husband comes from a long line of musicians and composers. His grandfather wrote a lot of the music, I don't know what year, but like after or during the Depression. He wrote You Have to Be a Football Hero, Potatoes Are Cheaper. Eddie Cantor sang some of his songs. Oh. And his name was Al Sherman. And then my husband's father and uncle are the Sherman brothers, who wrote a lot of the music for Disney.
Yeah.
Did you not know that when you asked me about family?
No, I didn't. I was thinking more of like the love of family and this and that, but I didn't know all about the Sherman brothers, this and that. This is amazing.
So they wrote a lot of the music for Disney, like they wrote the score for Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
They wrote the score for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which isn't Disney, but they wrote the song It's a Small World at Disneyland. But this is my favorite story. My husband came home from school. He was 7. And my father-in-law said, "What did you do today?" And my husband said, "They gave us the vaccine for polio." And my husband's father said, "You let them give you a shot at school?" And he said, "No, they gave us a sugar cube and they put it on a spoon and we ate the sugar cube." And my father-in-law wrote, "Spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you should be interviewing my husband, not me.
No, but no. I mean, just to hear it, how everybody's connected, how you're connected, and you know, and then you just talking about the sugar, because that's my addiction is sugar. But I, I grew up, of course, loving that music. So to hear how that got created.
Right. Well, and my husband inherited that gene of composing, and so did my both stepsons. They're both musical and amazing. And I wanted to be Julie Andrews when I was little. So when I met my husband, I was like, well, this is close enough.
Yeah.
Because, you know, she starred in Mary Poppins, Julie Andrews. Right. But I remember when I first heard about my father-in-law, that he wrote all this music, I remember thinking, wait, aren't those guys British? And wasn't that like 150 years ago?
Oh my God, that's funny.
But I got to know my father-in-law for many years, and he passed away a few years ago, but what a wonderful, wonderful man. And my husband actually did a documentary about the Sherman brothers with his cousin, with my uncle-in-law's son. It's called The Boys, and it's on Disney Plus, and it's fabulous. I wouldn't lie. Another
reason to get Disney Plus, I tell you.
So you love sugar? What's your thing? Chocolate, cookies?
Well, well, it's interesting because that's my addiction, and I'm really supposed to stay off of it because a week before my 50th birthday, I had a massive heart attack. I know. And I looked like this, but it was, you know, that was my inheritance. But
well, look at you now.
Yes, thank you. I try to do the bikes, and I exercise. I'm eating healthier, but I still, you know, all of a sudden I'll have a Three Musketeers and half of it's gone. I said, how did this get in my hand? That kind of stuff. But
I've been eating my weight in Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its.
And Chex Mix.
I love Cheez-Its.
I know at the beginning of the pandemic, it was like, take those away. Yeah, because we didn't know what was going on, and it was very scary. And I've also, well, a few good things have come out of the pandemic. Don't you think? Like, I figured out the secret to cleaning.
How did you figure it out?
It's poor vision.
Right. Oh, it's clean. That's so true.
I feel like we went to high school together.
I think we did too.
You remind me so much of so many of my friends from high school.
Oh, thank you.
And who do people say you look like?
Lately, with this hair, my mom and my brother on Zoom says, "You're Bill Maher."
Oh, I see that.
They used to say, not them, but I used to get David Duchovny a little.
Oh, I see that.
But I'm just David. Well, you were also on the Hollywood Squares.
I was.
Yeah. Is that where you met Roberta Kent?
No, I met Roberta because I started, after America's Got Talent, I realized that I'd really like to stay home more and perform locally. Roberta!
have low self-esteem.
Like, for an example, if I was in a store and I had a complaint about something, I would only ask to speak with the assistant manager.
We had a lemonade stand.
We had a 2-drink minimum. That's me on the phone. I forget to bring my own bags to the grocery store every fucking time. What do oysters think the world is? Is there a doctor in the house? My mother wanted me to marry you. My friends wanted to be ballerinas, but I wanted to be a go-go dancer.
I need someone who's clean with a dirty.
This is my mother. This woman came up to me. Miss, your cigarette, it's bothering me. And I'm thinking to myself, well, obviously I don't give a shit about me. Why would I care about you?